Carbon monoxide has an especially high affinity for hemoglobin, which is the oxygen-carrying component of blood. Carboxyhemoglobin forms when carbon monoxide binds to hemoglobin. Carboxyhemoglobin is unable to carry oxygen to the tissues. The toxin upsets the balance of hormones like estrogen that bones need to stay strong. Your liver produces more estrogen, destroying enzymes, which also leads to bone loss. Smoking makes bone loss even worse in the menopausal years.
I still can't get what does this has to do with my baby.
Here comes my turn. I'm Dr. Khulud Al-Jabri. Now we're going to move on to secondhand smoke, which is what you were exposed to, Mrs. Smith. Secondhand smoke is also called environmental tobacco smoke, and when non-smokers are exposed to secondhand smoke, it's called involuntary smoking or passive smoking. Now, this is exactly what passive smoking is. It's like a double-ended cigarette. You are inhaling, but the smoker is exhaling, which makes you passively smoking.
So do you mean that I'm considered a cigarette smoker?
Not physically with a lit cigarette in your hand, but in other terms, yes, you are smoking, as long as you are getting all these chemicals a cigarette produces from.
My health risks are like my husband's, even if I'm not actually smoking?
Yes, but let me break things down for you. Non-smokers who breathe in secondhand smoke take in nicotine and toxic chemicals the same way smokers do. The more secondhand smoke you breathe, the higher the level of these harmful chemicals in your body. So, being exposed to secondhand smoke can cause deaths. Every year in the United States, secondhand smoke causes about 34,000 deaths from heart disease and 7,300 deaths from lung cancer. They also have an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. Some of the general health risks of secondhand smokes in adults are poor lung function, respiratory diseases, cancers like lung cancer, and for women, they've got a greater chance of having difficulty conceiving and suffering more miscarriages. And for children, they could suffer from asthma, respiratory problems, behavioral issues, sudden infant death syndrome, and low birth weight. In your case, Mrs. Smith, you have been exposed to secondhand smoke, which has an immediate harmful effect on the cardiovascular system. Therefore, your risk of getting a heart attack has increased by 25 to 30%. Your baby practices breathing before birth. Secondhand smoke stops these breathing-like movements, which can affect lung development. And this is what happened to your child. He's got a low birth weight and his lungs aren't fully developed yet, but he's under good care around the clock.
To avoid secondhand smoke, don't allow smoking in your home. If your guests smoke, then ask them to smoke outside. If your partner smokes, then encourage them to quit. And only visit restaurants and businesses that enforce non-smoking policy. Try nicotine replacement therapy to help deal with craving. The nicotine spray and the nicotine inhaler are available by prescription as they are stop smoking medication. If you feel like you're going to give up on your tobacco craving, tell yourself that you must first wait 10 minutes and then do something to distract yourself for that period of time. This simple trick may be enough to drain your tobacco craving. If you feel like you're going to give up on your tobacco craving, tell yourself that you must first wait 10 minutes and then do something to distract yourself for that period of time. This simple trick may be enough to drain your tobacco craving. You might be tempted to have just one cigarette to satisfy a tobacco craving, but don't fool yourself in believing that you can stop it.
created using Powtoon.